It's time to own it, Jaguars fans.
That's our stadium. This is our city, and this is our team. Own it.
This is the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick and Mike Dempsey will guide you through the next 2 hours with insight and analysis of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Publix Tailgate Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. Let's get the tailgating started. Here are Mike Dempsey and JP Shadrick.
After a tumultuous week for head coach Urban Meyer, the Jaguars are finally back to football. Today, the Jags try to snap the losing skid and keep the Tennessee Titans within arm's length in the division race. It's an AFC South Division showdown. The first-place Tennessee Titans at 2-2 and the 0-4 Jacksonville Jaguars kickoff set for 1 o'clock. And welcome into the Publix Tailgate Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey at the bank. 19 losses in a row. Ooh. A lot of noise early in the week outside of football. A lot going on today in a big game for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, well, Alabama had a 19-game winning streak snap last night, JP, as you well know, being a Tide fan.
Thank you.
You know, just didn't mean to, twist the knife that early, but, maybe that's a good omen for the Jags to snap their own 19-game streak in a negative fashion, obviously. Week filled with off-the-field news that you just don't want to have heading into any game, but particularly when you haven't won one. But the bottom line, JP, as crazy as it is, win today and you're a game out of first place.
Yeah, there would be carnage in the AFC South. The first-place team would be 2-3 at that point. The Jags would be 1-4, and then who knows at this point. The schedule's ahead, especially for Tennessee, is really difficult the next 4 weeks, and you never know. Just stay in the hunt as long as you can.
You got to win a game, though. I mean, look, they're still in the hunt if they lose today. Right. Unfortunately, the math starts getting ugly early. You got to win this game, man. There's no other way around it. Tennessee lost to the New York Jets last week. They were one of the worst teams in the league last year. Now, granted, they were without both A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. Julio won't play today. A.J. slated to suit up. But no excuses, man. You got to go out there and defend your home field.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Currently 70 degrees, 79 at kickoff time today, and a very, very light chance of rain, about 10%. Should be a very nice day for football at the bank. Here are today's top stories, starting with the Urban Meyer Show on Tuesday afternoon, reacting to the statement from Jaguars owner Shad Khan.
Everything you can possibly do to make your players comfortable play the game. That's sports performance. That give everybody the best possible situation. You put them in a good scheme. You put a good group of assistant coaches around them in a safe environment, and then get out of the way. And I didn't do that. I became a distraction, made a stupid decision, and I apologize to it. I certainly understand our owner, Mr. Khan, has been fantastic since the day I met him, and I apologize to him as well, and have to move forward and regain the trust. And
that's Urban Meyer on the Urban Meyer Show Tuesday afternoon on the Jaguars Radio Network. All this noise early in the week. They got back in the practice field Wednesday. There are reports and articles coming out this morning even that are trying to move this forward. But today it's going to be about football at some point, 1 o'clock, obviously. How about the week, early in the week, the 2-3 days, how Urban Meyer handled the situation?
Well, it was all about Urban Meyer, and that's not what you want it to be about, obviously. And, different people will decide he handled it in different ways. There were reports on Monday that he didn't address the team as a full unit, that he did it by position group, that some people thought that was not what he should have done. The reports of who exactly knew that he wasn't getting back on the team playing. He said he let Trent Baalke know about it well in advance, but the players, most of the coaching staff, according to published reports, were not aware of that. Different players are going to take that different ways, JP. Nobody can speak with one voice as to what everybody in that locker room is going to feel. And people are going to judge the outcome on the field today and try to interpret that in terms of what happened this week with the storyline. And it doesn't necessarily mean that. If the Jags get beat today, it doesn't mean that they've given up on their coach. If they win today, it doesn't mean they're rallying around their coach. They're professionals as well. They want to win for themselves as much as anything, and they're tired of this losing streak, I am sure.
Let's get to the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, showing his support, but the team is trying to move forward.
I feel like the team has been the exact same. We had like a half day Monday. We were off yesterday, and then obviously today we were kind of back full speed. So I think everything's been right on schedule, like normal. I think we've operated well. At the end of the day, I can speak for myself for sure, and I know most of the team feels this way. He's still my head coach. I still respect him, regardless of what happens. Like I said, we're a team, and we're figuring it out. So yeah, we're all good. We had a great day of practice today, and we're all still working.
Defensive end and outside linebacker Josh Allen says when they enter the building each day, there's only one thing on everybody's mind.
Oh, we're locked in. As soon as we step in the building, man, it's football. So all the distractions that everybody's dealing with at home, whatever, as soon as you step into the facility, man, it's all about football. It's all about the team, and it's all about winning, preparation. So as soon as you step in this building, as soon as we all step in the building, our main focus is the Titans.
Both of those gentlemen spoke on Wednesday, Mike, and that was the prevailing theme, early in the week when you started hearing some of the players come out in front of the media on Wednesday and Thursday. But there's only one way to really find that out, and that's 1 o'clock when the ball's on the tee today.
Yeah, look, I think they're going to play hard. I mean, the Jaguars have been playing hard, I think, all season and have gotten progressively better, it seems, every single week. But, JP, we know it doesn't always work like that. It's not always, progress. Sometimes you have a big setback. Hopefully that doesn't come today. But I'd love to see them. Who wouldn't love to see them break through? And I think if they play their best football today, they can hang with the Tennessee Titans. I don't think this Titans team is a world beater by any stretch.
We heard from Trevor Lawrence there, Mike, and in moments like this, which is not an ideal week, there's a lot of stuff going on outside of football. To have him out there front and center, kind of setting the tone for the locker room and the organization, that it was not that he wasn't doing that already, but I thought we found out a little bit more about Trevor today in a circumstance where it's not the easiest thing to talk about.
I don't know if we learn more about him or we're just reminded about him every time he speaks, right? Ever since he got here with the organization, every time he steps in front of a microphone, you're like, you know what, at least this team ultimately at the most important position, it is in great hands. Not good hands, great hands. He's very savvy. He's been in the spotlight plenty of times. So Urban Meyer could have no better advocate, no better ally than Trevor Lawrence stepping up there and saying he has respect for his head coach today. As Trevor Lawrence goes, this organization is going to go into the future. And every time, again, you hear him speak, you're just happy that he's on your side and that he has got such a great outlook on things.
Let's get to the offense and the coordinator, Bevel. Like the performance from the Jaguars offense last week on Thursday Night Football.
I really liked how we handled the week. I mean, anytime you come off a short, and play on a short week. So I thought the guys did a really nice job with retaining the information that we had for them. And then I thought it showed in the way that we played. I like what we did. Probably our best game offensively as a whole. We ran the ball well. We were able to throw the ball. We were pretty good on third down. We were good in the red area. So a lot that we're improving on. That's what we've been talking about, the process of this thing. And so I like how we came out in the last game.
That's Bevel, offensive coordinator. Last week, Mike, the Jags had a 14-0 lead at halftime. Could have been a 3-score lead. It wasn't. The Bengals come back and tie the game 14-14, 2 straight drives to start the second half. But that answering drive by the Jaguars to go down the field, 11 plays, punch one in for a touchdown. There was a penalty late in the drive to move him closer to the goal line, but Trevor Lawrence had a big piece of that drive. He was throwing the ball all over the field, and that was the Jamal Agnew catch was on that drive also. It was a big answer. We haven't seen a drive like that answering adversity around here in a long time.
No, but you know what? That is what you do in the National Football League. I mean, National Football League games go back and forth all the time. We're just not used to seeing it because we haven't had that, right? So, you have that drive, and it's great, JP, but you need more of that. You need to be able to answer back and forth. And look, at baby steps, Trevor Lawrence is easing his way into his NFL career, but we all see the flashes on a weekly basis, whether it's that great throw to Agnew that you highlighted or just the calm demeanor to lead him back in that situation. You're going to see a lot more of that, I think, in the days to come here. But, it's nice to maybe punch in that third score and not have to have those comeback drives as well. That's coming down the road as well.
There's some changes, obviously, at wide receiver. DJ Chark is down for a while with a fractured ankle, so Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault. You'll probably see some Jamal Agnew at receiver a little bit more as the weeks go along here, and some other options. They can roll some guys in there. Dan Arnold will be a piece of the offense, too, the new tight end, who in 2 catches last week showed a little burst at least.
He did, and he's been that guy in terms of a tight end to stretch the field, but DJ Chark is a true field stretcher. Only 7 receptions in the first 3 games, but they average 22 yards a pop. He was getting targeted a lot, and defensive coordinators had to account for his speed by rolling safety coverage over to his side. Who will step up to fill that gap? I don't know who that will be. I don't think Laviska Shenault is exactly that guy, although he did have the big 50-plus yard catch down the field last week. They'll love to get some more of that out of him, but maybe Tyron Johnson, somebody like that, maybe one of the guys on the practice squad can step up that they've kept around. At 5 receivers on the practice squad at the beginning of the week, so they're going to have to find somebody because not many have the 4.3 speed that DJ Chark has.
Let's wrap our top stories with the Jaguars' defense and priority number 1. Well, 2, 3, and 4 today is slowing down Derrick Henry, the Titans running back. The league's leading rusher and defensive coordinator Joe Cullen has the plan.
They don't want to be the bully, and they do a great job at it. They're gonna run stretch, they're gonna run zone, they're gonna run until the cows come home, until you stop it. And it's physicality, Gene, and you got to match it. And it's a great point you're making. Yeah, that's what it is. Especially when you get 22 back there. I think he's the last back. And correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 straight years of 2,000 yards. Maybe Earl Campbell did it. I can't remember the last back to do it in a row. And they're going to feed him till you stop him.
They're going to feed him all day long. He leads the league in rushing yards. He is now second in the league. You know, if you took his yards after contact, it would still be second in the league rushing. I mean, that's pretty remarkable stuff from Henry early. And he historically has not been an early season producer. As the season goes along, he gets warmed up.
Well, that's the thing to keep an eye on here, though, because he is on pace for over 500 touches. I mean, that's an obscene amount. I don't know if even he, who is a unique player, can handle that kind of workload. I'm surprised they're putting as much on him early in the season as they have. But had they not, maybe they wouldn't have many wins here because, he got bottled up in week 1. They lost. He went off in week 2 in the second half against Seattle, and they had a big comeback victory. Last week, he went over 100 yards, but they didn't have any help for him, and they still lost the game. So Derrick Henry going for 100 is not a guarantee if they're not getting other pieces of their offense to put points up on the board. But he is, JP, you're right, off to the best start of his career. And if anybody's going to go back-to-back 2,000 on the ground, I mean, obviously, he's the only one who can do it at the moment. But he is built differently, man. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets there.
There you have some of today's top stories. Time now for our weekly segment from Emmanuel Thalleran, known as E.T., where we hear directly from you, the Jaguars fans. This is Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody.
Man, I know exactly who I'm about to hit up. Jacksonville, good morning. Your boy, not really in the best of moods. For obvious reasons. We're 0-4. But on top of that, it's Titans Hate Week. And one thing I can't stand is a mayonnaise-eating Titans. So for this, I had to go get the heavy artillery. I had to go get some reinforcements. I had to go get Organo J.
E.T. traveled into the night to get your boy.
I sure did. RJ.
Yes, sir.
We've been taking these calls, as you know.
We have. We've been hearing you.
And this week, they talking that talk.
Talk that talk.
They walking that walk.
Absolutely.
Well, kind of. Let's go see what they talk about.
Talk to me.
Come on, somebody.
Man, those dirty Titans, I'm going to smear
what?
mayo all over my burgers this weekend.
Man, I don't know if I like that much mayonnaise, but do you, my guy?
Bruh, I actually like mayonnaise on my burger.
Word.
We got to get a win.
We do.
Break the curse.
We're cursed?
Go Jags.
Go Jags!
Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy.
Holla. Come on, somebody.
We're going to go out there tomorrow.
Technically, it's today at 1 p.m.
We're going to kick some Titan butt.
Now, that's the energy I'm on.
And my boy J-Rob's going to run for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
So you telling me James Robinson's going to go Derrick Henry on the Titans? I ain't going to lie. That works for your boy.
Come on, somebody.
Who, baby, here?
Hey, RJ, this is my dog. Who, baby?
Who?
I don't know. But that's my dog, though.
Let's send the Titans home with a bottle of teal-colored
Hennessy
mayo.
Close enough.
After their loss. Deal with it, Titans.
I love how you enunciate your T's.
Such emphasis, right? Come on, somebody.
Duval. E.T., brother.
And RJ. Where's your manners?
I hate the Titans, man.
The feeling's mutual.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate Greg Williams.
Dang.
And I hate Jeff Fisher,
Ugh.
that no good,
Dang.
tiny glasses wearing,
Sheesh.
bad mustache having, mayo loving, season ruiner.
Hey, boy, that hate is real.
Now, what is it with y'all in this mail?
You know mayo's a thing in Tennessee, right?
I'm from L.A. I don't get it.
Go Jags, baby. Derrick Henry going for less than 60 yards.
So, J-Rod for 150.
150?
Derrick Henry for less than 60.
Less than 60.
I'll take it.
Come on, somebody.
Now say it with every breath you got in your chest, boy.
Every breath you got in your chest, boy.
Duval.
Come on, somebody. We're going to stuff Henry like a turkey and plant Tannehill like corn on the cob.
Oh, that aggression.
That's an interesting dinner selection.
Man.
Let's get ready to
Rumble.
Duval.
You know, you're getting close, E.T., with what they say.
E.T., what's up, my boy? It's your boy, Stephen Tullett, former linebacker for the Tennessee Titans.
Well. What do we have here? Why are you calling my work phone, Tully?
I see we're coming in town this weekend. Hey, I had a question for you, my man. You think the Jaguars will finally get a win?
E, you need to block his number.
Hey, I had a question for you, man. You think the Jags... Shut your... Hey, Maurice Jones-Drew, come handle my lightweight. And that wraps it up for this edition of Come On Somebody, Come On Everybody. And I'd like to thank my boy R. Got No J for coming through, because I feel much better. I also want to thank everybody who called in and was a part of this. I appreciate y'all. Now, y'all already know what I'm about to do. It's game time, baby. Come on, somebody.
E.T. at it again. Come on, somebody. Come on, everybody. Get your Jaguars thoughts in each week on E.T.'s call-in line, 904-207-7071.
Well, R.J. Saunders as an assistant this week, and it's Titans hate week, JP.
Yes,
fans feel it. They're never going to let it go, you know?
We were talking before the show with Joe Fortunato and Linda Fortunato. They've been here for a long, long time. And that goes back to those 1990s matchups, the late 90s. That's 22 years ago, 1999.
It is, but, you know, it's what we've got, until the Jags, until and unless they win a Super Bowl and some of that stuff is wiped away, bitter memories of what could have been in 1999.
We're just getting started on the Publix Tailgate Show. It is week number 5, and coming up at 10:37.
We're going to have to all run to the football, and it's got to be gang tackling, and don't expect one guy to get him down.
That's Jaguars inside linebackers coach and assistant head coach Charlie Strong on the plan against Derrick Henry today. But coming up next, CBS Sports play-by-play announcer Tom McCarthy gets us ready for today's game. The Titans and the Jaguars tee it up at 1 o'clock. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS. or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealers.
Hold on. You want me to tell them about Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea in just 30 seconds? This is impossible. Hey, I'm Billy from Twisted Tea. How can I explain that first sip of cold, smooth, real brewed tea? So good! And the extra kick you get from just the right amount of alcohol? The twist of lemon, Wait, what? We're almost out of time? Oh, shit. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation. Jaguars Game Day presented by ViStar Credit Union. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey from the bank. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. The Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up. Kickoff time at 1 o'clock today. Mike, Friday on the Ozone podcast, that's Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser. You might have heard of him before.
I have.
Well, he visited with kick returner and wide receiver Jamal Agnew, and Agnew said how many times he's watched the 109-yard kick six video.
Oh, man, I probably watched it like over 100 times just for Gus Johnson's reactions. Obviously, I kind of grew up watching. I mean, just like I used to hear him broadcasting the college football games all the time on Fox. And, you know, he's always been electric like that. But for him to be able to cover that play was just like a match made in heaven, because he was honestly, you know, the perfect guy for that play call right there. But, you know, I've watched it so many times, and, you know, I actually tweeted out, I was like, I want Gus Johnson to narrate my like basic life, just like my everyday life. You know, it would make all the most basic stuff just exciting as heck.
An all-time great play, I think, in Jaguars history.
Oh, sure.
109-yard missed field goal return for a touchdown. But we'll probably see Agnew a little bit more. It feels like moving ahead here at wide receiver. It's only his second year at the position. He was a corner before that. Doesn't have much, career numbers as a receiver. Only one target this year at receiver, and 25 targets, 17 catches over his career.
But he's shown a spark when we've seen him with the ball in his hands pretty much all throughout, off-season, mini camps, OTAs, training camp, right up until the regular season here, JP. And, I understand you don't want to detract from his primary responsibility, but in the reality, how many punts and kickoff returns do you have anymore in today's NFL? The kickers are so good. They're putting it in the end zone most of the time. The punters are so good. They're hanging it up there. So, maybe you've got 3, 4, 5 opportunities. There's no reason if you're going hard for 4 or 5 plays that you can't go out there and play 20 snaps on offense or whatever that number would be. He's already been playing some snaps, but I think now the ball is going to start to find him a little bit more.
Well, the way they've returned it, he might have a little more of a green light out of the end zone.
I would hope so.
They haven't had much in the punt return game this year for the reasons you just noted. Let's move along to our visit with Tom McCarthy. Baseball season's over now, at least for the Philadelphia Phillies. So Tom McCarthy getting a full slate of CBS games. He has the Jaguars today, and plenty of conversation about the Jags and otherwise with Tom McCarthy. With the call of the Titans-Jaguars game on CBS Sports, fresh from baseball, it's Tom McCarthy. Phillies season is over. Tom, it's good to see you.
JP, it's good to be here. I wish we were still playing in a little postseason. I wish I was flying in from Milwaukee right now to be doing this game.
What the heck happened to the Phils this year? Couldn't catch up with the Braves, huh?
It's funny. I actually think we overachieved. I thought we were an 85-win team at the beginning of the year. We won 82. We were banged up more than I think we anticipated. And I think our pitching, which we were sort of suspect from that standpoint, became even more suspect. So it didn't shock me. I thought it was actually cool that we were in the race till the end. I just think the last week, and this has been the case the last couple of years, just was really disappointing.
Tom McCarthy with us from CBS Sports, and enough stalling. Now let's get to the news of the week around here in Jacksonville. A tumultuous week after the viral videos and photos from last weekend. Distractions early in the week. The team says they're moving on. The players say they're focused on Tennessee. Head coach Urban Meyer's got a lot going on in and out of the building right now. What'd you make of the week that the Jaguars had to go through?
Well, like everybody else, I mean, I was interested to see what the players' reaction would be, and we met with everybody on Friday. And Trevor was great. He said that they've tried to put it behind them as best they can. Josh Allen said the same thing, and Urban was sort of candid with it, just as he was with you the other night on the radio show, just talking about how he made a mistake. He drank a little bit too much and did something he shouldn't have done and hasn't done before. And it's up to him to kind of clear his name and clear the Jaguars' name too. More so his name than anything else. I mean, this isn't really, I don't think, an overwhelming reflection on the Jaguars, but I do think that it's something that, no team wants to go through because there's so many distractions anyway, let alone the fact that he wasn't on the plane on the way back, which I think a lot of people are pointing toward more than even, than what happened. If you win, I think things get taken care of. And I think that's a big if, obviously, with a young team.
They haven't won this year. They didn't win most of last year either.
Right.
It's 19 in a row, and that's not all on him, obviously. The first 4 are, but it's a shame because at least the last 3 weeks, it felt like this team was going up. Both sides of the ball. I
agree with that. I actually was very entertained by the Cardinals game. I was very entertained even more so by the Bengals game. And I thought that's because Trevor played so well. If he had gotten into the end zone for the third score, it would have been a different story. And he even admitted that, he made the wrong decision. Instead of going toward the pylon or giving it to James, he decided to go inside, and the Mike linebacker was there to seal him off. But I thought, took a major step in that game. And I think that we put a lot of focus on quarterbacks in this league, and rightfully so. But I thought he made some good decisions. I thought he made some good non-throws. And I think if that's where he's heading, then I do believe that this team is going to be fine as long as they can stop the other team.
To your point on Lawrence, he's got everything on the field you want, right? As you said, he's got everything off the field you want too. Just hearing him talk and break down his day, even after the game, immediately, he can tell you exactly what went wrong and go right into it. And then with the events of this week, he can be the face of your franchise and speak for the team on bigger matters or other matters than football. And that package is rare and hard to find.
I agree with that. And I think that, anybody that wasn't sure whether he was a bona fide NFL quarterback, total package quarterback, I think you're kind of seeing that he is. And, I know it wasn't a great preseason, but nobody played for anybody's preseason. Would have been better for him to get the number 1 reps from the get-go? Yeah, I do think it would have been better. But that's hindsight. But he's got it all. I mean, and even just talking to him, I hadn't spoken to him beyond a casual conversation until Friday. And, he had it together. I mean, everything, perspective, game plan, the week, all that kind of stuff. And I think for a kid that age, it was pretty darn mature from his standpoint.
Just turned 22 years old. I don't even remember what that's like.
I had hair. We had hair.
We both had hair, I think.
Yeah.
That's a little while ago. Tom McCarthy with us from CBS Sports. On the other side today, and you talked about it a moment ago, the Jaguars defense has to start slowing down some of these teams. The second half collapses the last 2 weeks just can't happen. Well, you can collapse pretty quickly against a guy like Derrick Henry. We've seen this firsthand. Of course, in the first matchups the last 3 years, Jaguars have fared okay. It's those later season matchups where Derrick Henry's really churned up yardage and stiff-armed everybody on the field and run for long touchdowns. But this is a different Derrick Henry early in the season. He's off to an exceptional start.
He is. And the one game that I did earlier this year with him and the Cardinals, they held him in check. So he's done really everything in 3.5 games, not necessarily 4 games. So he's been pretty impressive. I have enjoyed my conversations with him. He's very reflective. He also understands where he is in this game. I think he's matured because of his daughter, because of the baby. And I think that's kind of helped him be grounded. He's a massive man, and he's going to be hard to tackle. but I think that the Cardinals gave a fairly decent game plan on what to do. And that's making sure that more than one guy went to the ball and you went to his ankles when you did. Can you do that again? I don't know, because he hasn't really been brushed aside too much these last 3 weeks. But I think he is a guy that the NFL should probably hang their hat on a little bit more because of his abilities. And I think his personality is evolving. But he works his tail off, but he is a massive individual.
Yeah, skill set's unique. Certainly, there's nobody like
him.
And
he can catch the ball to the backfield now too, better than he has in recent years.
I think he's 5 catches shy of a career best in receptions for the season or something. It's crazy. And then you get him outside like that, he's against little guys, and that's trouble. Tom McCarthy with us from CBS Sports. It seems strange to say this, that the Jaguars are 0-4, but they are only, if they win this game, a game out of first place in the AFC South. It's absolute carnage right now. Tennessee's 2-2. The other 2 teams are 1-3. The Jaguars are 0-4. If they win, first place is 2-3, and all heck could break loose. You just got to keep Tennessee within arm's reach, I think.
I do agree. I think you have to make sure that if you have them early, you get them early, because they're going to figure it out. I mean, they are. Their defense is not great. I mean, the fact that Bud Dupree is not able to play as much as he should. I mean, he probably will play this weekend, but it's not going to be the Bud Dupree from the Steelers. I mean, that knee injury, as he said, he's come back a little too soon. You can double team Simmons, which means that Autry could be handled one-on-one. You can pick apart their defense. There's no doubt about that. And I think that if you keep them within arm's reach, then you could afford to be 1-4 in 2021, but you cannot let them run away and hide, because they are going to get better. I think as the year goes on, they're going to figure out their offensive line situation. Just as the Jaguars have a couple of young offensive linemen like Walker Little, they have young offensive linemen too, who will start to get more playing time and probably stabilize that unit a little bit.
That's Tom McCarthy with CBS Sports. He has the call today with Tiki Barber of the Jaguars and the Titans. And, Mike, we've got plenty ahead on the program. Plenty ahead.
Oh, yes.
A little later, we'll hear from this man on the offensive line.
We certainly do. That's our bread and butter. That's our DNA. That's who we are.
That's Ben Bartch, the starting right guard today on the offensive line's approach to running the football. Up next, though, Brian Sexton with Jags inside linebackers coach Charlie Strong. Titans, Jaguars at 1 o'clock. And this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by FDOT.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
This is Chantel Chark, wife of DJ Chark. Enter for your chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime experience with the Jaguars. Imagine being selected as a Jaguar for the day with prizes including a behind-the-scenes tour of the stadium, a personalized Jaguars jersey, club-level tickets to a Jaguars home game, and more. Look for details at Publix, where you can pick up all your game day needs, including Tide, Bounty, and Crest. Tackle everything in one stop. Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more. The Publix Tailgate Show continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 5, a 1 o'clock kickoff time today. Mike, how about a quick look around the NFL?
All right, JP. While the Jags look to earn their first win of the season versus the division-leading Tennessee Titans today, we look around the rest of the AFC South, where the 1-3 Houston Texans will play host to the 1-3 New England Patriots in a battle of rookie starting quarterbacks. Davis Mills getting the call for Houston, looking for his first career victory, in Jacksonville's own Mac Jones at the helm for New England. Meanwhile, the 1-3 Indianapolis Colts head to their old stomping grounds of Baltimore. They'll face the 3-1 Ravens on Monday Night Football. Indy's first victory of the season came last week against the now 1-3 Miami Dolphins, who will face the Jags in London next week. Right now in London, the Atlanta Falcons handling the New York Jets at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by a score of 17-0. Matt Ryan, with touchdown passes to Kyle Pitts, his first as a professional, and Hayden Hurst, Jacksonville's own, with the other score. Elsewhere, rookie quarterback Trey Lance gets his first start of his career today for San Francisco. The 49ers are in Glendale, Arizona, taking on the NFL's lone remaining unbeaten team, the Cardinals. San Fran will be without Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle for at least 3 weeks. He was placed on injured reserve yesterday with a calf injury. Meanwhile, Chicago coach Matt Nagy named rookie Justin Fields the Bears' starting quarterback going forward now. He'll look to make it back-to-back wins as the Bears are in Vegas to take on the Raiders. And finally, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson had surgery Friday to fix a broken finger on his throwing hand that he suffered in Thursday night's loss to the L.A. Rams. Wilson expected to miss a minimum of 4 weeks, could be up to 2 months. Geno Smith likely will start for Seattle in Wilson's absence.
There's a look around the National Football League in Week 5. Check out the official Jaguars Podcast Network, a free subscription on Apple iTunes or Spotify, and give us that 5-star rating as always. Charlie Strong is in his first NFL season. He's the inside linebackers coach and assistant head coach for the Jaguars. Longtime college assistant, college head coaching time as well. And the linebackers have their hands full this week against Derrick Henry. He caught up with Brian Sexton earlier this week.
Seems like the perfect week, Coach, to talk to you because it doesn't get any bigger of a challenge than Derrick Henry. Tell me your initial thoughts on this monster from Nashville.
Well, if you look at what he's done, Brian, in the first 4 games, he has over 500 yards rushing. A big, strong, physical back that runs downhill, runs behind his pads. And the thing we're going to have to do, and just talk to the defense, we're going to have to all run to the football. And it's got to be game tackling, and don't expect one guy to get him down. It's going to take us all to get him down. And that's why I said, what they do a really good job of is they make sure that he can get one-on-one with some defender, whether it be a defensive back, a linebacker. It's going to be one-on-one. So now we just got to rally to the ball and just get him on the ground.
But I can remember a couple of years ago on a Thursday night where he was one-on-one with about 4 different guys and went 99 yards for a touchdown. And I think that's the thing about him that's scary, if you will, as a football coach or player, is he looks like this big bruising guy who's going to pound out 4, but he can go 44 or 54 or 84 like that on you. He's got deceptive speed.
Well, it's so deceptive, and that's what people don't realize. They just think that you got this big old back who's a power back, and he's going to get you anywhere from 8 to 10 yards, maybe a 15-yard clip or 20. But he has enough speed. When he bounces it to the outside, guys very seldom run him down. You're going to find a fast defensive back to go catch him, but not many backers and D linemen for sure can't go get him. So I think that's where he's really special, is he's got speed and power. A lot of guys don't have that. Speed, size, and power is what he has.
It seems, Coach, like what you're saying is the fundamentals are never more important when it comes to playing run defense than when you get a guy like Derrick Henry. You have to do all the little things right.
Well, I always say this. If you're going to be really good on defense, you got to be able to stop the run. And how do you stop the run? You got to have gap control. And they do a great job of just move. They play with a lot of tight ends, and they have a lot of motion. So it's eye discipline, because what they try to do is move your eyes, and then you don't realize this is your gap, and all of a sudden the ball is snapped. But you got to be in your gap, and you got to be able to control your gap, and you got to be able to win your gap. And when you're playing against a runner like Henry, and the whole thing with them is their offensive line is so good. They get to the second level better than any offensive line I've seen. And they don't even have to double off a guy. They say, hey, almost the nose is going to get single blocked by the center, and the guard is going to climb to the second level.
Coach, when you look at this defense, so much improved from the last year and a half. I mean, the numbers aren't germane to you, but this team has really struggled to stop the run. 157 yards a game the last year and a half, 4.7 per carry the last year and a half. This year it's 106 and 3.5. What's been the biggest difference, do you think? What have you seen from this run defense that has given you guys the chance to improve so dramatically?
Well, I think it starts with run is that our whole focus is going into a game to stop the run. But also with that, you got to be able to defend the pass. And I think that now that people seeing that they can't run the ball against us now, they're going to, they're going to throw the ball, they're going to put it in the air and make us go cover. So it's you may be able to say, okay, on one end, we're stopping the run, but now we got to be able to stop the pass. And we got to have a combination of both, where we are a great run defender and a pass defender.
Tell me your observations of Myles Jack coming in, first year here with him, and how he and Damian Wilson are playing together. And Wilson obviously brings a championship pedigree from the last 2 years, such a critical component of the middle of your defense. How is that group coming now as we hit the quarter pole and go into the second quarter of an NFL season?
Well, when you look at it, if you want to be good on defense, your linebackers have to be the leaders of your defense. And they're the ones that really, when you think about defensively, they are the ones that have to be able to tackle people, get everyone. The communication piece is very important. You look at Myles, and I always tell Myles this, he still, Brian, has not really scratched his surface on how good he can really be. You watch him out there, you see him make plays, and I tell him, I said, Myles, there's so much more left inside of you, and we got to get it out of you. And then, with Damian coming from Kansas City, been a part of a championship, it really has helped our defense because he works. Now, when you talk about a guy that works and you watch a guy that go play, that's what Damian does, and he turns it on, and he's going to give you everything he's got each and every day.
Have you heard the question? I've heard it for years. Why do the Jaguars struggle to cover tight ends? Coach, how do you think you have done against tight ends? And what will it take when linebackers are covering them to be better against some of the more athletic tight ends that we're seeing in this game? Guys like Kelsey and Kittle, who are matchup problems.
Well, you look at last week against Cincinnati, it was a matchup problem. And tight ends now are just so athletic. They're nothing but a big receiver. They have closed them in the box. They don't want to block anybody, but if you want to throw them the ball, they'll flex out there and they'll catch everything you throw them. But it's you got to find who can match up with. Myles is good. He can match up with a tight end, and then we go to our dime package and we end up bringing in the defensive back. But then you have a size issue there because now you're talking about a guy who's 6'5", 6'6", and a defensive back who's anywhere from 5'11" to 6 foot tall. So it's got to be where when you get in that, when you know you have to stop the tight end and you're knowing that ball is going there, you try to put another guy on him where you have a guy outside and a guy inside because, when you, like you say, you talk about Kittle, you talk about Kelsey, the ball is going to go. Gronk, the ball is going to go to those guys.
Coach, are you enjoying coaching on Sundays after so many years on Saturdays?
I really am, and it's been very exciting. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a lot of fun. We like to get some wins. That's what we're missing. We haven't gotten any wins, but it's been really good. And you have a group of players that's willing to listen. And if you, Brian, one thing I've noticed about professional football, if you can help them increase their value, then they're going to listen and they're going to do everything you ask.
Charlie Strong, his first NFL experience this year, and they've got quite a task today in the inside linebacker spot. Myles Jack, Damian Wilson trying to figure this thing out.
Good luck, Coach. You're really, there's not much to figure out. You got to meet brute force with brute force, and you got to understand that guy's bringing a lot of deft footwork with it as well, JP. You got to be on your keys today if you're a linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate, work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. We're back in a moment with Jags right guard Ben Bartch on what this Jags offensive line likes to do the most. And we'll have another hour of the Publix Tailgate show starting at 11 o'clock. We'll have the top headlines heading into week number 5. 1 o'clock kickoff time for the Titans and Jaguars. And this is the Publix Tailgate show on Jaguars Radio.
We all want to look and feel our best, so why not take the next step with a consultation with Dr. Patrick Basil, board-certified plastic surgeon. Offering a variety of wellness, skincare, and aesthetic treatment options, you can look better, feel more confident, and transform into your best self. They offer the most advanced, innovative treatments in a modern, patient-centered environment. Learn more at transformjax.com. That's transformjax.com or call 904-222-6262.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here to tell you where to find the most authentic Southern Pit barbecue in all of Jacksonville. That's right, Bono's. For 72 years, Bono's has been smoking real pit barbecue right here on the First Coast. Smoked for hours, served in minutes, and always cut to order. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at TIAA Bank Field. Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want great barbecue, head to Bono's today. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Crown Royals That Deserves a Crown program recognizes local heroes for making a positive impact in the community. The Jaguars and Crown Royal are giving back to those who served this season, celebrating these individuals with the ultimate VIP Jaguars home game experience. Nominate someone who deserves a crown today at jaguars.com/Crown Royal Promotion. Please drink responsibly.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Jags fans, did you know you can ride your bike to every Jaguars home game at TIAA Bank Field and Valley Park it for free? That's right. Stop by our bicycle check-in tent sponsored by Alert Today Florida near Gate 1 at TIAA Bank Field. An on-duty ZenCog bike professional will park your bike and ensure it's secure during the game. When the game is over, return your claim ticket to pick up your bike. For cycling safety tips, visit alerttodayflorida.com. Remember, Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow, because safety doesn't happen by accident.
Jaguars Game Day presented by VyStar Credit Union. The Publix Tailgate Show rolls along from TIAA Bank Field. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. The Titans and the Jaguars coming up at 1 o'clock in week number 5. Some changes on the offensive line today. A.J. Cann is down for a little bit with a knee issue. So Ben Bartch getting another opportunity, Mike.
Yeah, Bartch has played pretty well. You know, talking with the guys like Jeff Lageman, Tom McManus, who really pay attention to line play, and they think that Bartch has improved. His strength is a lot better coming into this year. And, you know, this is a guy, JP, not an insignificant draft pick was spent on him, so you'd want him to at least be part of your top 8 offensive linemen throughout his tenure here in Jacksonville, and here he's going to get an opportunity to slide in when he has played this year. I don't think you've seen much of a drop-off, so he's got that opportunity at least for the next 3 weeks.
Time now for our Baptist Health Visit with a Player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. It's second-year guard Ben Bartch. It's been a noisy week around the Jaguars, if you look on social media, outside the building, but now it's time, Ben, to move forward to the Tennessee Titans. How difficult has that been to do, and now you can look forward to a game on Sunday?
JP, thanks for having me. I would not say it's been that difficult. Our job is to win football games, so ultimately that's all that we are focused on right now.
Yeah, and the Jags are trying to do that for the first time this year, the first time in a long time, but it's a big opportunity for you to get a start at right guard. A.J. Cann is out for an unspecified period of time. How excited are you for this opportunity ahead of you?
I'm very excited. It's a great opportunity. I'm very grateful.
Yeah, let's take us through this offensive line now. You know, running the ball seems to be a real strength of this group up front. And as an offensive lineman, I know you guys love when the team runs the ball and runs it effectively.
We certainly do. That's our bread and butter. That's our DNA. That's who we are.
Yeah, and you know, last week it seemed in the first half that went really well for this offense, and then as the game went along, the game changed a bit. Now, playing with this group up front, the rest of the group's been together for a few years now. This is your second year in the group, but you haven't had a lot of starting time up there. Take us through working with Jawan Taylor at right tackle, and how have you guys been in practice so far?
We've been doing well. I've worked with Jawan quite a bit. As a backup swing guard, you work with both tackles and everybody on the offensive line, so I've enjoyed it. We have a lot of chemistry, and he's a great teammate.
Brandon Lender's a big piece of that too. Obviously, the captain center in the middle of things. How about the relationship with him in the middle?
Yeah, Brandon is certainly a leader on our offensive line, and he's done a great job, and I got nothing but good things to say.
Ben, let's go through the matchup a little bit this week. Jeffrey Simmons is the big fella up front for the Tennessee Titans. What kind of player is he, and what kind of a challenge can he bring this week?
He's a great player. I played him last year at home later in the season, and he's a big, strong, physical guy, and he'll present a good challenge for us, so I look forward to it.
How much better of a player are you this year than you were in your rookie season? I guess I should say, how different are you? Are you stronger? Are you more technical now? All of the above? What would you say?
I think I work really hard and just kind of let other people do the talking about that. I feel a lot more comfortable. I will say that this year.
That's what happens going into year number 2. How about Trevor Lawrence in the huddle? You've worked with him a good bit now. You get a chance to start in front of him. He seems to have it above the shoulders, that's for sure, and he certainly has it in that right arm also.
Yes, you're dang right he does. He is a great huddle presence and a great person. So,
Ben, good luck to you this week. Appreciate you coming on. Let's get a W against the Titans.
Thank you, JP. I appreciate it.
That's Ben Bartch, Jaguars right guard, second-year player. You're darn right he does when asked about the quarterback.
He got it all. He's got the presence, the makeup, the big right arm. You dang right he does, JP.
That's our Baptist Health Visit with a Player. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Time now for our weekly commentary from Jaguars sideline reporter Rick Ballou, and we call it, Has Rick Lost It?
All right, it's been a crazy week, no doubt about it. And what's interesting is anything can happen today. All right, I think we'll really get a good indication early on. First quarter, I'm talking 6 or 7 minutes. The effort will be there because the tape is rolling, and these players are always playing for their future. But what about body language? What about the juice? That'll be telling. No doubt about it. I know this. Each week, this team gets better. And I think that continues today. Now, an opportunity to snap the streak against a team that started it early during the 2020 season. The theme of the week has been 0 turnovers, all right? And I like that, and certainly that's encouraging. But I also want Trevor Lawrence to continue to throw the football deep. So if he makes a mistake and there is a pick, I'm okay with that. Where is it going to come from, though? Tyron Johnson, only 3 targets so far. Tavon Austin, 41 snaps a week ago. Will he get a couple of deep balls today? Jamal Agnew, 2 touches, 38 yards, only 8 snaps. Love to see some more out of him. coming up this afternoon. By the way, under the belly stuff, intermediate stuff, 4 different tight ends caught footballs last week, and Dan Arnold looked like he really could be somewhat of a go-to guy down the road here for Trevor Lawrence. When you look at Tennessee, they're a time of possession machine. It's as simple as that. They tire defenses down, particularly in the second half, and Henry gets better. However, first games against the Jaguars going back to 2018, the kid from Yulee only averages 61.6 yards. Second game, 204 yards. There's a sizable difference. Obviously today is game 1. Tennessee is beaten up. They have some serious holes in this lineup. Can the Jaguars today turn this whole thing around and grab a victory? JP.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. Rick Ballou with Has Rick Lost It? Another division game for the Jaguars today. They didn't fare so well in the first one against the Houston Texans to start the season. That didn't go as planned, but there has been some improvement as the weeks have gone along. Really the only thing left to improve is to finish a game and go get the W now, right?
Well, they played 2 great halves of football in the last 2 games. Unfortunately, they weren't at the same time or in the same game. The first half against Arizona is probably as good a defensive half as the Cardinals have seen from an opponent this year. Keep in mind, they're the only remaining undefeated team in the National Football League. And last week, they dominated Cincinnati. Cincinnati had 2 plays to Tyler Boyd that were even noteworthy in the first half, did nothing else. And, you know, the Jags on the brink of putting them out of their misery just couldn't punch it in on 4th down, JP. Who knows what would happen, but the defense really gave it up in a big way to the Bengals last week. So they've got to do a better job, even if they have that lead at halftime. If they're playing well in the first half, find a way to transfer that to the second half. I don't know if it's adjustments other teams are making. I don't know if it's fatigue. I think it was in some part in the Arizona game because the defense was on the field for quite a long time. But they've shown they're capable of playing at a high level. They just haven't shown that for 60 minutes yet.
Yeah, that second half last week, I mean, the defense was unable to get off the field. The Bengals scored on all 4 of their possessions in the second half to rally and win, including the game-winning field goal with no time left. And on that drive, though, they got a sack on a 3rd down, but there was a defensive holding, and it kept the drive alive, and unfortunately the Jaguars just couldn't finish that one last Thursday night. It's on to Tennessee now. The Jaguars hosting the Titans today. And coming up in the second hour of the Publix Tailgate Show, we'll have more top stories of the week. We'll hear from NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks from Los Angeles, giving us his thoughts headed into Week 5. And we'll head to the broadcast booth for First Rounds on Us. Titans Jaguars at 1 o'clock. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's the best savings of the year going on right now at Renewal by Andersen. Buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free. Plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Designed to withstand the harshest weather environments. Find out more at rbafla.com. Offer expires October 31st and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, the official window and door replacement company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
The Dick's Wings and Grill family of restaurants is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They invite you to stop into one of their area neighborhood grills where you can count on fresh quality wings where you call the flavor. At Dick's Wings and Grill, their menu has a food and flavor for everyone in your group. If you prefer delivery or online ordering, just visit dickswingsandgrill.com. Every Dick's Wings and Grill is locally owned and operated. Dick's Wings and Grill, winging it since 1994.
You say there's nothing quite like the feel of the open road when you ride a motorcycle. You know it takes concentration, knowledge, and skills beyond those required to drive a car. Ride Smart Florida would like to take this opportunity to remind you to enjoy the road, but to always ride smart. S-M-A-R-T. Say no to drinking and riding. Make yourself more visible to motorists. Always wear your helmet. Ride in control. Train regularly and get endorsed. Visit RideSmartFlorida.com for more details. Do you ride smart? This message is provided by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
The Publix Tailgate Show continues right now.
Jaguars Game Day presented by ViStar Credit Union. It's hour 2 of the Publix Tailgate Show. 2 hours away from Week 5. The Tennessee Titans at 2-2 in first place, visiting the 0-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. They are not in first place. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field. And, boy, what a week it was.
Yes.
What a week it's been. What a week it could be. If the Jaguars handle business today, it could change a lot of things.
Well, the best way to forget about the events of this past week would be to go out and win a football game. Let's have a victory Monday, and let's focus on what the Jags are doing on the field. You know, we did have the kind of the Friday recap before we really, got into all the storylines with Urban Meyer at the beginning of the week, JP, but it seemed like we didn't sit very long with how well the Jags played in that Thursday night game, know. So, again, it's a loss, and there are no brownie points in the NFL for good effort and all that. But it is hopefully a building block and a sign of things to come. But you got to get those dubs, and no more important than today against the division leader to keep the division race kind of muddled right now. 2-3 at the top of the division sounds really good when you're a team that could be 1-4 at the end of the day.
Game day weather is presented by roofclaim.com. Protection made simple. Currently 73 degrees, mostly cloudy. It's looking like it might clear up a little later in the day. 77 at kickoff time, partly cloudy skies then. The sun could come out full in the fourth quarter of today's game. Let's get to today's top stories, trying to keep the team focused after the early week distractions from the head coach. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence has no doubt the team is ready to roll.
We're focused. That hasn't changed. When we get out there, it's time to work. Our meetings have been great. Communication's been really good. Obviously, we're coming off a tough one in Cincinnati. A game we felt like we should have won, that we had. We were in it the whole game, and just got to get better at finishing. And that's where, we're looking to make an improvement this week. And I feel like every week we've gotten better. So I'm just excited to put another full game together and go finish it.
Yeah, full game this time, according to the quarterback there. That's what we just talked about. It makes a lot of sense. Full game for the offense, and then the defense has to do their part. A special teams play here or there that they've had earlier in the season wouldn't hurt either.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean, really, it was kind of a complete defensive collapse in the second half last week. You don't have to dominate every moment of all four quarters to win an NFL game, but you've got to not have the stark difference between first half and second half performance. The big thing for Trevor Lawrence, though, not turning the football over last week. That's got to become a trend, and he's going to obviously get a lot better at it. He's a very smart quarterback. He's got all the gifts, but he can't put his team in bad situations, particularly when the Jags defense is not creating their own turnovers now.
We've talked, of course, all week long about the early week distractions around head coach Urban Meyer. Jaguars defensive end and outside linebacker Josh Allen says the team is supporting him.
Like I said, man, as soon as you step in the building, man, we talking about it's about football. Yeah, he apologized today. Again, you know what I mean? We all really appreciate him, but we all know we all got a job to do. You know what I'm saying? He has owned it, you know what I mean? And just like we all do, you know what I mean? So he's a great coach. He's a great man, and he's going to bounce back, and we all going to bounce back. We're going to play even harder for him, you know what I'm saying? So, we're ready to play, man, and he got our back, and we're going to have his back. So that's how we going.
Yeah, at some point you got to move on and put all that aside and play football and not worry about everything that's going on the outside.
Yeah, and I tell you what, again, Urban Meyer should be extremely thankful that he has guys like Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen speaking up as forcefully as they have in his defense. And, I mean, you can say something without going as far as Josh Allen did. And he said, look, we're going to play for our head coach, which isn't always the case in the National Football League. You can understand the players are saying, hey, you know what? No matter what's going on, we're going to rally around each other and we're going to focus on each other. But they've given a full-throated defense of Urban Meyer. That doesn't mean that everybody in the locker room feels that way across the board. But, hopefully it won't be anything that impacts their play on the field today.
Let's move to football now. The biggest challenge this week, slowing down Derrick Henry. Head coach Urban Meyer has some history against the Titans running back.
I actually coached against him in one of those bowl games. He is a monster. He's one of the best combinations in size and speed. He starts, everybody says it. I remember I was with Trent, we were watching video, and we can't let him get started. That's much easier to say, and I think I'm sure Derrick would say that. I'm not really ready to interviews, but their offensive line is really good, and their scheme is really good. So this is a really good offensive team led by one of the best players in the NFL.
Defensive coordinator Joe Cullen has his hands full this week.
Every team has a good back, and they run the football. But, yeah, it's man on man. You're going to win one-on-one battles. It takes all 11 to stop the run, and I think our guys do a great job up front, but also in the secondary, because if a run breaks, the longest run the other night was 11 yards. So, we're tackling and getting them down. So you got to have run fits. You got to have the edge set against this team. And then when he cuts back, you can't be over pursuing. So it takes all 11 to stop the run, like it takes all 11 to stop the pass. Rushing coverage going hand in hand.
The Jaguars done a pretty good job in at least the average yards per play rushing allowed this year, top 5 in the league. That'll come to a test today against Derrick Henry because he gets a lot of his yardage, most of it after contact.
Well, look, you can do a great job on him too, JP, on the first 20 carries and hold him down to 3.5 yards a carry, which is what the Jags are allowing, 3.5 right now. And it doesn't matter if you don't get him on carry 21 because he can stiff arm 4 guys. And as we've seen, he can take it from any distance. He did it 99 yards a few years ago against the Jaguars. He's the rare man of that size that has long speed. And what they love to do is isolate him outside the tackle box against defensive backs. And he starts throwing that first guy around and picking up chunk yardage. So, again, you may think you've got him contained, but that's a 60-minute effort you've got to give against Derrick Henry.
Let's get to offense and the coordinator, Bevel, praising the decisions Trevor Lawrence made in last week's game.
I really thought he made great decisions in that game. There was a lot of really good decisions. Even the decision when he got outside the pocket is like, you know what, I can't make a play here, and he threw it away. So you saw that happening. I kind of think, I believe that you guys should see, and everybody should see just the evolution of what he's done from game 1 to game 4, how he's improving, and every rep that he gets invaluable. And he's learning from each one he gets. And, just like last game, it was awesome to see him go out and it's like, oh, nothing's there. I got to get rid of this one.
Yeah. So it's a process. It's continuing for him as well to try to figure out some things. Didn't turn the ball over last week. That's a good start.
Well, we talked about it after the first couple of games in particular. He's got to take what's there, right? And that's what Bevel's saying. He's getting up there. He's saying, oh, it's not there. I'll throw it away or I'll dump it down. Take the check down. Take the easy yards. Take 6. 6 is good in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence has to fight against his own talent at times because he knows he can make throws that very few quarterbacks are capable of making, a la that one to Jamal Agnew. You don't want to take that out of him, that aggressiveness, but he understands. There's a fine line. You got to be smart, and you got to take what the defense gives you at times.
Those are some of today's top stories. The Daily's play schedule is red hot right now. Coming up October 12th, it's Pitbull with Iggy Azalea. October 14th, Three Doors Down with the Seether. October 15th, the Jonas Brothers. That's a sold-out show. And Little Big Town, October 23rd. Tickets and information at dailysplace.com. Let's head to Los Angeles, California, and welcome in NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks. Joining us as the Jaguars host the Titans today. And Bucky, I'm going to start with the big one here of the week. It's, all this early week distraction. How does it factor into the week of preparation? Will we see any of the remnants of that today?
Yeah, no, when you hear the top players, Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen, talk about being focused and moving on and talking about playing for their coach, I think it's very positive that whatever was said in the locker room, the key players have been able to put it aside and focus on football. I think for Urban Meyer, obviously when you're an ultra competitive person, what you want to do is when you're backed into a corner, you want to come out and give your best effort. I think what we may see is his best coaching job when it comes to his attention to detail, his ability to prepare his team to get ready for an up-and-down Titans team that poses some problems. But it's a game that could be a very winnable game for the Jacksonville Jaguars if they played the right way.
And you know, Bucky, the last couple of games are winnable games for the Jags, the way they played in the first half of those contests. What can they do at halftime, whether it's adjustments or just in terms of continuing that play that we saw against Arizona and particularly in the first half against Cincinnati? It wasn't there in half number 2.
Yeah, you have to be able to continue to make adjustments. You have to continue to talk to the team about finishing games. That has to be the constant theme that they hear about every day on the practice field, in meetings, and then during the course of the game, you have to talk to them about finishing the game, the way that you want to play the second half, the way that you want to finish the third and fourth quarters. You have to be able to knock it out. And a lot of winning games in the National Football League comes down to how they perform in the fourth quarter. Do you score in the fourth quarter offensively? Do you give up scores in the fourth quarter? Most games are decided by 8 points or fewer. If you can score on offense and not give up scores on defense, that gives you an opportunity to win if you do those in the fourth quarter.
Bucky Brooks with us live from Los Angeles. All right, former defensive back, I've got a challenge for you. Derrick Henry is running left. He gets outside the left tackle. He's in the clear. Only thing left between pay dirt and Derrick Henry is you, Bucky Brooks. How do you approach the situation?
With a couple different ways to approach it. Like, one, what you have to do is you got to look at Derrick Henry. If his shoulders are squared up to you, it's going to be a hard down. You just have to sacrifice yourself, and you got to be that rolling speed bump. However, if his shoulders are not squared to you, you have an angle where he doesn't have all of his weight and momentum going your way, hey, you can try and run through him. The big thing that you got to do with Derrick Henry, you got to find a way to get him down. And you got to find a way to get him down while knowing if I'm a miss, I need to miss the right way. Meaning, if he's come a certain way, I want to keep Derrick Henry on my inside pad. So if he does miss, I'm hoping that the cavalry is coming where I can make him chatter his feet a little bit and the rest of the guys can slow him down. But I'll be honest with you, JP, this is not the guy that you want to see come around the edge, right? As a corner, this is the worst case scenario. Big 247-pound man, unblocked with a head of steam. Look, that's not really in the job description. So you try and find a way to chop him down. You try and find a way to kind of cut him below the knees to hope that he falls down. But, hey, man, it's one of those things where you're like, this is going to hurt, but I'm going to try and be the sacrificial lamb for the team.
Yeah, there's only one of them, but lucky us, we get him twice a year, so there's that. Bucky, also there is the fact that the Titans have given up 17 sacks in the first month of the season, only 24 allowed all of last year. Is this a game where the Jaguars' pass rush can get right?
It can get right, but the only way that the Jaguars will be able to force the Titans into a game where they are able to show their pass rushing prowess is if the offense can go up by 2 scores. It's really important that when we talk about playing complementary football, the offensive game plan matches what the defense wants to do. So Bevel, Trevor Lawrence, these guys have to be in sync. If they can jump out on the Tennessee Titans and really negate the running game because the Titans are forced to chase points, that's the best way to play. And then you can get those wide nine techniques. Then you can get creative with the pass rush, send 5 guys to get after Ryan Tannehill. But a lot of it will be dependent upon how well the Jaguars are playing offense, because if this game is close, they're going to just keep handing the ball to Derrick Henry. And they're going to hand it to him over and over again because they're not out of range. But if you can get up by 2 or more scores, now it puts them out of range, and now it becomes a drop-back passing game for Ryan Tannehill. And that is something that the Tennessee Titans don't execute as well as that hard-hitting, smash-mouth, run game-oriented offense that they've built.
Bucky Brooks with us, live from Los Angeles. On the offensive side, a couple of key contributors are out with injuries. A.J. Cann with a knee issue, and D.J. Chark, of course, with a fractured ankle. Ben Bartch will step in there today at right guard, and then you might see a rotation of guys at that third wide receiver spot now with Chenault stepping up and Marvin Jones. Those are the 2 kind of standard guys, and then they've got to figure some things out. Maybe some more Jamal Agnew today. You know, he hasn't had a lot of time, but this might be the time, Bucky.
This is all hands-on-deck game. This is a critical game. Coming off the Thursday night game in which you really started out well, but then you fell apart. You got to find a way to throw caution into the wind and be very aggressive with how you're trying to move the ball down the field. Jamal Agnew should probably play a role. I think you have to continue to feed the running back James Robinson, and you have to find a way to get the ball to Chenault and Marvin Jones and all those things. And so this is one where the game plan needs to be about distributing the ball, but then in game, the ball has to go to the guy with the hot hand. So you build the game plan, you see who gets hot the first and second quarter. The second half is all about riding the guys who kind of feel like they have it going.
Bucky, Matthew Wright gets elevated from the practice squad. It looks like he'll get the opportunity to be the place kicker today. How good does he need to be to secure that job going forward?
He just needs to be real good. He needs to take advantage of his opportunities. If he has a big-time kick, he has to put it between the upright. If he has the opportunity to knock down a game winner, knock down the game winner. Ultimately, man, this is a performance and production-based business. If he performs and produces, he'll continue to have opportunities to kick. If he doesn't, then the door opens wide open for Josh Lambo or another kicker to come in and do what they need to do.
I was going to ask, how long do you run with Lambo here? This is 2 weeks now. He hasn't been up. How long does this go on?
I think a lot of it is determined on how Josh Lambo is performing on the practice field and what the conversations are like between he and Coach Meyer away from it. If it's a situation where the guy needs some time off just to get a break, just to recalibrate, well, you give him the necessary time off, and then when you bring him back, you expect him to be good and able to knock it down. And so it's an ongoing evaluation, but I think you have to be mindful that the kicking game is critical in a time in which most games are decided by 8 points or fewer. You got to have a dependable kicker. And so, look, it's business. It's not personal. And so you have to do the best thing for the business of the Jaguars in terms of trying to score points and get wins.
Bucky, appreciate it as always, and we'll talk to you in the scoreboard show when we take phone calls, hopefully after a Jags dub today.
Hey, man, let's go get it. Have a good one.
That's Bucky Brooks in Los Angeles. Early day each Sunday for Bucky, doing some radio stuff early in the day and then joining us here on the Publix Tailgate Show. We're back in a moment with First Rounds on Us. We'll head to the broadcast booth and get our weekly visit with our resident first-round picks and Jaguars analysts Jeff Lageman and Tony Baselli. Titans, Jaguars in Week 5. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff time, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
The original pizza logs are a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and available at the stadium on game day. You'll find those delicious gourmet pizza egg rolls at concession stands, clubs, and suites. For all their products, be sure to check out pizzalogs.com and have them delivered right to your home. That's pizzalogs.com.
Put down the burger, put down the dog. Pick up the original pizza log. There's only one. The original pizza log. Yeah.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has been a leader in direct mail for over a decade. Using the latest technology, Kessler Creative can now reach your ideal audience even more effectively. Choose between a collection of response channels from email and SMS texting to land pages designed to engage and initiate responses with potential customers. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sissine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Ricoh copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sissine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Ricoh-connected copiers and printers. Learn more at sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
From TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville, this is the Publix Tailgate Show. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. It's Week 5. The Titans and the Jaguars tee it up at 1 o'clock here at the bank. And it's time now for First Rounds on Us.
New York Jets, first-round choice, Jeff Lageman.
Jacksonville Jaguars have selected tackle Southern California, Tony Baselli.
We head to the broadcast booth upstairs at TIAA Bank Field. Tony Baselli, Jeff Lageman standing by. Good morning, gentlemen. How we doing?
Good morning, JP. It's a fantastic, beautiful day.
It is beautiful here in Jacksonville. What a good day for football.
Great day for victory.
Let's play 2.
I got a good feeling about today.
I do too. That's why I'm saying that.
I think the Jags win this game.
This is a great matchup. I think it's a great matchup, JP.
All right, we'll get to that coming up in a minute. But all the early week noise is that past this team, can they move forward? And where do things stand now, in your opinion, guys?
Well, I mean, let's start with the team. That's most important. I got to believe it'll have zero impact as far as mindset of going into the game today. Where it hurts you, though, is the distraction during the week, because nobody wants to be asked about, hey, what was your head coach doing in a bar with somebody who is not his wife? Like, you just don't want to be asked that question. Why wasn't he on the plane? How does it make you feel? And so what I think we miss sometimes, it's not actually what is going to players playing hard or giving it their all today. It's the distraction and time taken away from preparation. And how much that is, only the guys on the team know. I'll say this. I think Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars are happy that it wasn't 2 years ago where there's an open locker room where the beat writers are going around asking every single player the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it really becomes a distraction. So is it behind us? If you win,
you hope.
If you win, it gets further behind you. If you lose today,
I don't know if it will ever get truly behind.
No.
But here's the one thing I think that gives you an opportunity at success. And it's crazy to think about this, but you've got a 22-year-old generational quarterback who is way beyond the maturity level that most 22-year-olds are at. And I think that his leadership and the way that he conducts himself and the way that he goes about his business, I think gives this team a chance. I do. Because, here's the reality. If you had any other 22-year-old quarterback on this planet in this situation this week, I think it would be very difficult to overcome. I think Trevor Lawrence has a lot of special qualities, and it goes beyond what his abilities on the field are. And I'm not saying that he's going to lead them down the road to victory today, but I think he's going to certainly provide a lot of that.
Well, there's a maturity about Trevor Lawrence because of what he's been through since he was probably in high school. He's been in the spotlight. He's been in big moments. He's had a lot of questions. He's had distractions. I mean, he was at the spotlight the day he showed up to Clemson and what he did, winning a national title as a freshman. And so I agree with you there, Jeff. I think he can handle a lot. I think he has a lot of capacity when it comes to things going around in his life and surrounding this game. It's still just something that you just don't want to deal with.
No.
It's something that you should not have to deal with. I think Urban Meyer said one thing very correct. His job as a head coach is not to create more distraction, but to remove distraction and allow his team to get ready to play. And that didn't happen this week. He failed in that area, and we'll find out what the impact is as we see the season go on. And I think the one thing that Jeff said, and I tend to agree, win or lose, it won't be behind this organization for a while at least from the standpoint of how he is viewed, whether by your fan base, but you can set that aside. I think by the people in the building. You're viewed differently, and you don't get that back overnight.
No.
That takes a long time.
Yeah, it takes a while. And the one thing I think that reaction-wise, JP and Mike, that can happen certainly in a locker room, it can go one of two ways. It can go very bad, or it can galvanize the team. And the old circle the wagons thing. And I'm not talking circling the wagons around Urban Meyer. I'm just talking about circling the wagons around your team. And sometimes when distractions like this can come up, the one kind of bastion of trueness is playing in the game, because then all the noise gets shut out. And that's I think the beauty of the game. I mean, you go back to where players have had, deaths in families or distractions that have been through other teammates or whatever. Kind of that one true moment to get away from all of that is the game itself and playing it up once you cross the white lines. And so can that be today for this football team? We're going to find out, because I think it can go one of two ways, and one of them's ugly and one of them can be very successful.
Well, guys, they seem to have been heading in a better direction, trending in the right direction, more competitive week after week after week, but there's been a lot of talk about this team needs to learn how to win football games. They played great in the first half the last couple weeks, not great in the second half. What is it that teaches a team to learn to win for the first time? Is it just being in position and making those plays, or is there something innate that you have to have that helps you overcome these obstacles?
Well, I think first and foremost, Mike, learning how to win is eliminating the giveaways or the turnovers by your offense. And, I don't know if I'd term that so much, learning how to win, because I think that's a very broad term that coaches use sometimes when they're not having success. Well, we still got to, learn how to win. Well, you could also say, hey, look, we've got to be better in certain areas for us to have an opportunity to win. And this football team in Cincinnati did one of the most important things that you have to do to win, and that's protect the football. The problem so far is that defensively they're not getting any takeaways. They're coming out in the second half and they're having, I don't want to say a lapse, but they're having poor performance to start the second half. And the reality is if you look at their third quarter point differential, it's like minus 35. And you're not going to win football games coming out in the second half like that. But they've learned, if you want to use that term, that last week is that, okay, now we protect the football, we've got a great chance to win. Okay? Now you got to start taking the ball away as well.
Mike, I thought and I think you said it earlier this morning, is yes, they're getting better each week, and that's great. And you hope that continues. But progression always, getting to that victory is not always a straight line up.
Right.
And you can take a step back. And that's what you hope doesn't happen today. That you have making progress. You're not quite getting across the line. And I think going back to the first question, what happened with Urban Meyer, not having success, being 0-4, you hope it doesn't all of a sudden become the situations like, oh, my gosh, here we go again. Or if Derrick Henry gets it going early, you're like, oh, no.
Oh, boy.
And you have a setback instead of making progress as this team has over the first 4 weeks.
Which makes, I think, the start of this football game
critical.
Very important to what happens throughout the course of the day. And I was not joking around when I think that this is a great day for victory. And what Tony and I both feel the same way. I mean, you watch Tennessee, and not just last week, but you watch them in the first quarter of the season, I guess almost quarter of the season now that there's a 17-game schedule, but their offensive line is not what it used to be. Derrick Henry is still a great back and still is everything, but they're having issues protecting the quarterback. And they're having issues, I think, with the play of the wide receivers and the quarterback and that chemistry. And so what do the Jaguars defense, what do they do well? Well, they do well against the run, stopping the run, one of the top 10 teams in the league, and yards allowed per rush. They haven't played very well against the pass. And then today also they may be without Tyson Campbell, who came into this game questionable with a toe, and just got done watching him work out just a little bit ago. And I don't know if he's going to go, but I can tell you this, if he does go, he's not going to be very good because he was limping. And then offensively, the Jaguars have been getting better, and they're scoring points, and they're making some things happen, and Tennessee's got a pretty good defense. But I think the matchup itself, if you compare team versus team, this, I think, is a good matchup for the Jaguars. I'm not saying that they're going to blow them out or they win in every category, but it's a good, even matchup, and in some cases, I think the Jaguars are favored in some areas.
All right, guys, time now for UF Health Finding Solutions. Visit ufhealthjax.org. A couple of injuries on the offensive side last week. A.J. Can with a knee issue, DJ Chark with a fractured ankle. And we know Ben Bartch is going to start at right guard today. We'll see who steps into that wide receiver spot. Could be by committee. What do you expect from the guys stepping into those roles today?
Well, first of all, I think Bartch has played pretty well. And and Tony and I both were kind of like hesitant to give him a lot of props early in the season, but Tony would probably agree with me in that he has been a much improved player. And now in the starter's role, I think that creates another challenge for him, but I think he'll be fine. And for DJ Chark, the reality is, how much of an impact has he been for this offense so far yet this year?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that I agree with you 100% on everything you just said. I mean, that's what I was going to say. Bartch, feel confident. He's been playing physical. He's playing stronger at the point of attack, especially in the pass game where he got pushed around last year. Not seeing that. So I got confidence that he'll do a good job. And I'm with Jeff. I mean, DJ Chark, you hate to lose him because he is a starter. He's averaging 22 yards a catch, big play. But you're not having the volume of catches. Only 7 catches on over the first 4 games. He really only played a series in that first game. So, I mean, in the Thursday night game. So I don't think it's a noticeable difference. And I hate to say that because I really like DJ. And so I don't think either of those injuries will have a big impact on the game today.
Yeah, and I think they've got to find a way to get better production out of that position.
The wide receiver position in totality.
Yes, and there's been a lot of guys that have kind of been up, and can Jamal Agnew add a little bit to his plate? And, he had the nice catch last week for 27 yards. LaVisca had what might have been one of his best games as a pro. Can he do more? Maybe. Well, what's Tyron Johnson? What is he going to do? I mean, there's a lot of questions, I think, with this offense about production. The one guy that I'm excited about, though, that we haven't mentioned yet, Dan Arnold. I thought Dan Arnold last week totally looked like totally different than any tight end that's on this roster.
Because he can run.
He can run.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other tight end who can run.
A couple days and they put him out there, and he was the best tight end on the field.
Yeah, he has explosion.
For the Jaguars,
right,
because Uzomah was better. But I think Dan Arnold can have a big impact this week, and we've seen in years past Tennessee's tight ends have always had a bigger impact than the Jaguars' tight ends, and I hope that Dan Arnold can have a bigger impact in today's game.
There you have it, UF Health finding solutions. Visit ufhealthjacks.org. We'll return in a moment with the inactives for today's game and fantasy picks. The Jaguars and the Titans tee it up at 1 o'clock today at TIAA Bank Field, and this is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Jaguars fans, Corona Extra is giving you the chance to win big. Be one of 3 winners to receive a VIP game day experience complete with limo transportation, a Jacksonville staycation, and tickets to the Jaguars home game Sunday, November 28th. Enter for your chance to win at jaguars.com/corona. Must be 21 years of age or older. See full rules for details. Please drink responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit VyStarCU.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey from TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. The Publix Tailgate show continues. The Titans and the Jaguars at 1 o'clock. The inactives have been announced. The Jaguars have 5 players down for today's game, including kicker Josh Lambo. He is inactive. Tyson Campbell, inactive today. Jaguars cornerback, the rookie out of Georgia with a toe issue, will not play. Laurenti McCray, defensive end and outside linebacker, is out. Jordan Smith, the rookie from UAB, defensive end and outside linebacker, inactive again. And Roy Robertson Harris, dealing with an ankle issue, again, inactive for the game today. Matthew Wright, elevated from the practice squad for this game, the kicker, and he will play today for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, JP, for the Tennessee Titans, we knew Julio Jones would not be suiting up before today, but he's officially inactive now. Their wide receiver, along with punter Brett Kern, outside linebacker Bud Dupree, running back Mekhi Sargent, wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Akina, defensive lineman Woodrow Hamilton, and offensive lineman Ty Sambrailo, all inactive for the Titans today.
Yeah, there you have it. And, yeah, Titans injury report this week was like a long, long list. They had 11 guys limited one day, and like 8 guys didn't practice on the same day early on Wednesday this week. Long list, and they have been banged up a little bit. Time now for our fantasy picks. And, my goal this year, Mike, is to go wire to wire in this thing.
Win it all.
How are we looking on that?
Well, you're still in first place, JP.
We're looking good.
You tied for the most points in week number 4 with Mr. Tony Baselli. Tony Baselli had Russell Wilson, Derrick Henry, and DK Metcalf, good for 64 points. JP went with Kyler Murray, Austin Eckler, and Devontae Adams. Also good for 64 points. Frank with 54, I had 53, and Jeff had 51, so he'll be selecting first today. Overall, JP, you've got 271 on the year. Frank's at 244, Jeff's at 229, I'm at 225, and Tony is at 211, so obviously still anybody's game. We draft a quarterback, a running back, and a pass catcher, either a receiver or a tight end. Draft order today is Jeff, myself, Frank. JP will pick ahead of Tony because Tony was ahead of JP last week, and then Tony will have the first set of back-to-back picks, and that means, Logs, you are on the clock, sir.
J-Rob.
All right, James Robinson getting in that Jaguar spirit right there. All right, I will also go at the running back position, and there's only one other guy who can take this player, and I'm not going to give Frank the chance to take Austin Eckler away from me this week. So, Frank, anybody but J-Rob and Eckler.
Might have taken Eckler there, Mike. I will take Patrick Mahomes.
Mr. Mahomes on Sunday night versus the Bills. JP.
Dalvin Cook.
Oh, he's questionable with an ankle.
Questionable.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Very iffy on the workload today.
JP,
to be fair, guys, JP asked me earlier today, is Dalvin Cook playing? I said he's supposed to play. That's all the information I gave him. I didn't give him the information that they're probably not going to give him the ball a whole lot.
We're all day to day.
That's right. We are. Tony, you're up with back-to-back picks.
Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Jamar Chase.
Going with the hookup. By the way, Tony came in with a plan this week. Did you notice that?
Who cares?
All right. Like the response as well. JP, quarterback or a pass catcher?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Heard he's good. Frank, running back or a pass catcher?
How about Saquon Barkley?
Saquon it is. All right, let's see. I put a lot of eggs in the Josh Allen basket this week, and I'm going to put a few more there at quarterback. So, Logs, for you, a quarterback and a pass catcher, please.
I'll take Dak Prescott.
Dak it is.
And Justin Jefferson.
And Jefferson for the Vikes. And I will go hoping that Josh Allen hits Stephon Diggs for multiple touchdowns tonight. So I'll take Diggs and wide receiver. Frank, need a wide receiver for you.
I think I'm going to go Adam Thielen.
Thielen it is. JP, same deal.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, or of course you could go with a tight end there if you wanted to. And a running back, Tony.
Alvin Kamara.
Kamara. All right, here's what we've got now for Week 5. Jeff Logman's got Dak Prescott, James Robinson, who we'll all be rooting for, and Justin Jefferson. I'll go with Josh Allen, Austin Eckler, and Stephon Diggs. Frank has Patrick Mahomes, Saquon Barkley, and Adam Thielen. JP has Tom Brady, Dalvin Cook, and DJ Moore, while Tony will go with Joe Burrow, Alvin Kamara, and Jamar Chase. Good luck, gentlemen.
We are all day-to-day and questionable. Yes, we are.
Excellent.
Yes. The picks are in. Tony and Jeff will talk to you in the final hour coming up on Countdown to Kickoff. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. Time now for the Frangie File. We visit longer with Jaguars play-by-play announcer Frank Frangie from the broadcast booth. A lot going on this week outside of football, Frank. Does it bleed over to Sunday?
I don't think so, JP, and you're right. That's what we've talked about all week long, isn't it? I don't think so. I think these guys are professionals. I think, like Tony said earlier, they're tired of talking about it. I think once the game starts, it's our professional guys versus your professional guys. So I'd be very surprised. I don't think it's going to distract them and make them play worse. JP, I don't think it's going to galvanize them and make them play better. I don't think there's a factor here. I think these guys go play, and I think everyone's glad that when this game's over, they're going to get to talk about football and nothing else. I really believe that.
Well, I don't know if they're going to get to talk about nothing else, Frank, but
yeah.
We can hope.
Close enough, right?
Yeah. So, look, you've got a young team, for the most part, that has been close. That can discourage a team, like, man, you keep banging your head against the wall, or it could encourage them. Which way do you see this group of Jaguar players going?
I think they're going to play well. I think they realize they're getting better. I think the game slowed down for Trevor, Mike. I really do. I think you could see the first game there was some stuff he wasn't ready for. Less of that the second game, and the third and the fourth. Played his best game last week, as we all know. So I think the game's slowing down for him. I think it's slowing down a little bit for Urban and the staff, the members of the staff. Joe Cullen's never been a coordinator before. Urban's never been in this league before. I think it's slowing down for everybody. I think everybody knows they've played better. Now, you're right. We had a week we didn't have to talk about, or nobody got to talk about all that because they talked about the other stuff. But, no, I think they'll continue to play well. Now, Mike, having said that, at some point you need the payoff of a win. You can't be 0-11 and still talking about how you're better in Week 11 than you were in Week 10. So you need the payoff at some point. But I think they're going to play well today. I really do.
Frank Frangie with us from the broadcast booth, and I think we could talk about this every week, just hearing Trevor talk and be that franchise face quarterback guy. I mean, that outside of football in a week like today, this week, hearing him kind of set the tone for the locker room at least, that's something I think we're going to not many places have that guy, Frank, which is good to have.
You know what's interesting about that, JP? I was thinking about that too. I remember I did a lot of stuff with the college football over the years and covered it and called games. And I can remember when Peyton Manning got to Tennessee, JP, and he was this big star recruit, and he went out there. He talks about his first game he ever got to play. He goes into the game, and he goes, "Hey, guys, we're going to go. I'm going to rally you guys. It's all positive vibes here, positive vibes." And finally, Jason Lehman, the senior tackle, said, "Just shut up and call the play." So he didn't have that credibility yet. And then you blinked, and a year or two later, he was the captain of the team, like he's a sophomore or whatever. And I sense that with Trevor as well. I think when you get here, you gotta wait your turn before you can step up and say, "Hey, listen to me." But I see that happening very quickly. I think you're right, JP. He's slowly becoming the leader of this team and this offense, and he's so matter of fact that he's a humble dude. It's fun watching that. We're watching it unfold before our eyes, and I've enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, that game was Tennessee-UCLA. Keith Jackson said Peyton Manning making his Tennessee debut. Get used to it.
That's exactly right. And Peyton loves to tell that story. Yeah. Lehman said, "Shut up, call the play." So.
I love it.
Hey, Frank, that guy Derrick Henry, we're well aware of what he's capable of doing against the Jags. Usually they do a nice job early in the season, but he's never been off to the start that he's off to as he has this year. What chance you give the Jags to corral him today?
You got to slow him down. You're not going to stop him, but you got to slow him down a little bit, and you got to keep him away from those big electrifying plays, Mike. That's the thing that is the killer, because when he stiff arms you into oblivion and turns a 5-yard run into a 80-yard run, not only is it 80 yards and a touchdown, but because of the stiff arm and how physical it was, that really fires up the Titans' sideline, and it demoralizes the other team's sideline. So you have to stay away from those plays. Get him on the ground as quickly as you can. But you're right. He's off to a better start now. Goodness gracious, 510 yards, and the leaves haven't even changed yet. He may be on his way to being the first guy to get 2,000 in back-to-back years. So I think they slow him a little bit. I don't think he's going to dominate the game. You can't let him take over the game, Mike. That's one of the biggest keys to the Jags, obviously, today.
Frank, the losing skid is 19. That is the tied for the third longest in league history, and another today would make it 20, of course. Simple math, but it would be the third team ever to lose 20 or more games. You just don't want that on this franchise's name.
Yeah, and you know, I to these players' credit, I don't think they're real caught up in how many losses there were last year or what the streak is. I think they're worried about today. And I know that's cliche. It's one of the old cliches in sports. But I think with this team, JP, because it is so young and there is so much newness and there's so much going on around the football other than the football, I think the last thing on their mind is how many they lost, how many the team lost before a lot of these guys even got here. Play well today and try to win the game. I like the matchup today. It's going to be a fun game to watch for sure.
Frank, appreciate it. Have a good call.
Okay, fellas, thank you.
Frank Frangie joining us from the broadcast booth. And, the Jags have some work to do. It is, like we were talking about earlier, if the Jaguars can pull this off today, which is entirely possible, then all of a sudden it's carnage in the AFC South. It's 2-3, the first place team in the division. The Jags will be 1-4 right there in the hunt, and you can just kind of keep it ugly for a little while and maintain an arm's length distance, at least keep them within reach, and all this. You never know when the season gets here in the middle part.
No, you don't, but in order to have that, you've got to win this game today, right?
Yes,
Otherwise, you fall 3 games behind. You'll be 0-2 in the division, and while still, you'll be mathematically alive for quite a while still, it makes it a really uphill climb here, JP. But if you could throw that monkey wrench in and all of a sudden, I don't care how bad the division is. If the Jags can contend and hang around near first place, that's what we're looking for this year. It's a shame they couldn't have picked up one of these last 2 at least and really had a chance to put themselves in good position. But nothing you can do about that now. October's here. It's time to win a football game.
Up next on the Publix Tailgate Show, a visit with the Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from the broadcast booth. We'll get his final thoughts ahead of this Week 5 matchup in the division, the Titans and the Jaguars. Jaguars Radio Network coverage beginning at noon with countdown to kickoff. We're a little over an hour away from Week 5. This is the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, we became the first micro distillery in the state of Texas, and we're still making the same smooth stuff after all these years. We're still cooking in a pot still, working with our dogs by our sides, having fun and tasting batches, and I'm still wearing the same hat, even after all these years. Head over to Tito'sVodka.com to learn more about what else we're doing the same. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When I'm looking for a company to provide comfort to my home and family, I look for the same qualities I expect from my football team. High standards, superior knowledge, trust, and reliability. I've found that with Florida Home Air Conditioning. Guaranteed exceptional service and more than 20 years experience serving Jacksonville and the surrounding communities make their company my choice for heating and cooling. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet, who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and diehard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. The official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
I'm Chantel Chark, wife of DJ Chark. My husband is always prepared with the game day plan, and so am I. I'm always looking for easy ways to save time, and Publix helps me tackle everything from pregame prep to postgame cleanup with prices that are never out of bounds.
This week at Publix, Olay Body Wash is $1 off.
Available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Final moments of the Publix Tailgate Show. The Jags and the Titans coming up. It is a 1 o'clock kickoff time today in the AFC South. Week 5, the Jaguars trying to snap a 19-game skid, 0-4 start to the season. And now time to visit with the Ozone.
This broadcast is Ozone friendly.
The Ozone. Jaguars.com senior writer John Oehser joining us from the broadcast booth upstairs on what should be a nice day for football. Well, we're finally to football, John. That was the big question mark early in the week. What would this thing look like? But we're finally here on Sunday, a little over an hour away.
I thought you were going to ask me if I thought we'd make it to Sunday, and I was worried there for a while. Long week. I mean, it's here. You get to see. Everybody knows what's out there. You get to see how the team responds to it, and sometimes players rally, sometimes they don't. So I think we find out today. Sort of how this has all resonated and how they play. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
John, Shad Khan put out a statement this week, said that the head coach needs to regain the trust and respect of the team. How, in your experience covering teams, I don't know if you could point to examples of where that's been lost before and regained, but how difficult is that to regain, would you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be mealy-mouthed on it, but I think it's case by case. I mean, somebody makes a mistake, I think everybody knows that everybody's human, and there's certainly a capacity for people to say, hey, I get it. And then if that person restarts and shows that it's moving in the right direction, then obviously it can be recaptured. As I wrote a couple times this week, I think, like I said to you, Mike, on the show, it kind of starts now. I mean, I don't know what the answer is going to be, but clearly Urban's talked about regaining respect. There's reports out there about the locker room. And Shad Khan has mentioned in a statement. That's a storyline. Only 3 days later, I don't know how to gauge it. But it's can it be regained? Yes. Is it difficult? Do we know for sure? No.
Let's get to football now. And the last 2 weeks, the Jaguars had 2 possession leads in the second half and blew both of them. Cardinals game, of course, they were up 9, didn't win that game. 7 scrimmage snaps later, they were down in the game after leading by 9. That's how quick that one turned. And then last week, of course, 14-0 at halftime. And that didn't go the way with the field goal in the final play of the game to win it for the Cincinnati Bengals. How do you finish a football game, John?
Pressure, sacks, and create turnovers off those sacks. That's how you put exclamation points on games. They've done a good job stopping the run. I think everybody looking at this team would think they're a lot better in that area, which gives you a chance. That's how you stay in it. That's how you don't get steamrolled the way we saw it a couple times last year where you're just out of it, and you get leads that way. But you close games in the NFL by sacking the quarterback when you know he's got to pass. They have 5 sacks this year, I think. And for a while early in the season, they were putting pressure on the quarterback but not getting to him. In the last couple of weeks, especially Joe Burrow, who does get the ball out quick, he got the ball out really quick. They got one pressure, got taken away from him. But you've got to sack the quarterback. I think everybody on this defense knows that.
John, DJ Chark, not a lot of receptions early on, but the threat of him going deep was always there, averaging 22 yards a catch in those first 3 games. Tony Baselli doesn't think it's going to be that big of a loss for this offense. How about you? Do you think they'll be able to replicate his deep speed?
Well, I hate to not agree with the Tony Baselli, but I think DJ matters, if only because other teams, it takes away one guy the other team has to worry about. And I don't know that they have that guy to replace that. He hasn't been fantastic. He hasn't been a go-to receiver. Does he draw double coverage? I think sometimes he does, which helps the quarterback. Now to me, I don't know who I visualized carrying this offense as a receiver. Maybe they didn't have with Chark, but now they have one more option with that. I think Jamal Agnew will get some more snaps and more opportunities, but it's hard to see him being a guy at the end of the game where you're looking at, hey, 8 for 120. He really took over a bunch of different series. I don't know if he's that guy. I'm not sure they have that guy. I think they need that guy. I think it's a huge issue going forward in the next couple off seasons. You got to get that.
John Oehser with us, Jaguars.com senior writer. I don't know if you heard this week, John. Derrick Henry is the running back for the Tennessee Titans. He's the league leader in rushing attempts, rushing yardage, and rushing touchdowns, and he's off to the best pace of his career. How do you stop him?
Well, the good news is they have had some success early in the season stopping him. And I'm sure people who have listened to any of our broadcasts heard me say this all week. I think a lot of their problem against Derrick Henry in the last few years, when they've played him late, they've sort of been out of it, the Jaguars. And it's much tougher to tackle that guy when you feel like you're out of it because, the desire to do so. I'm not saying going into the game you've quit, but they've been out of it against this guy, and he's rolled over him. Early in the season, they have put together 3 good performances the last 3 years. I expect a good performance today. What I don't know is, with A.J. Brown healthy, do they have anybody in the secondary with Tyson Campbell now out and they're down to Trey Herndon and Shaq Griffin at corner? Can they handle it when the Titans go deep on them? That's been more of a Achilles heel for this team than anything this year.
Yeah, Shaq Griffin needs to earn his money today on that one, man, because this is a depleted wide receiver core for the Titans and a very depleted secondary for the Jaguars. So almost weakness on weakness a little bit here. John, quickly, Matthew Wright, kicking game, gets his second opportunity. How do you think he'll perform today?
I always hesitate to try to think I know how to get inside people's head, especially kickers. But no reason. He kicked 3 last week, 3 extra points, and looked fine. I always assume a kicker will make kicks until he doesn't. So I see no reason why he won't do fine. I do wonder going forward. It was a competition this week. At some point, I'm not sure you have a kicker competition. At some point, if Josh Lambo is going to be in the equation, you've got to roll him out there and see if he can do it. So it's not this week. I anticipate it'll be sometime in the next couple of weeks.
The Jaguars are the only team in the NFL without a successful field goal in the 2021 campaign. Let's hope that changes. And, these are going to be some tight games. You got to have some field goal production. John, enjoy the game. We'll look forward to your writing a little bit later.
Guys, thank you.
Jaguars.com senior writer joining us, John Oehser from the booth upstairs.
We're all about those touchdowns, JP.
Well, I'm with you. I get it. But, the other side's paid as well. To play
never
defense.
would have believed it, right, when you have the guy who's been the most accurate kicker in the league for the last couple of years.
That'll do it for the Publix Tailgate Show. We'll return with Jaguars Radio Network coverage. Countdown to kickoff, featuring CBS Sports senior writer Pete Prisco, pride of the Jaguars running back Fred Taylor, and we'll have the final word before kickoff with head coach Urban Meyer. We're an hour away from Week 5. The Titans and the Jaguars tee it up at TIAA Bank Field at 1 o'clock today. This has been the Publix Tailgate Show on Jaguars Radio.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good.